So the Jones family would love to keep Kellen Moore, and I get it, right? Kellen Moore is going into his 4th season ever calling plays as the offensive coordinator. And we know that he went through a bevy of experiences, of learning things and things like that. Just being real with you guys. He's still young. This was his 4th year ever calling plays in the National Football League. However, everyone have a reason, and results are what matter. Now, the Jones family did say if they somehow lose Kellen Moore, they got a safety net. And Kellen Moore, I think he's going into his 2nd interview with the Dolphins, and they're going back and forth whether or not they keep Kellen Moore or they pick up, I think his name is McDaniels, the offensive coordinator for the 49ers. Now, both guys offensive-minded, right? They just fired a defensive-minded coach, Brian Flores, and we know that storyline there. Brilliant coach, but didn't have the results that they was looking for. So now, if the Cowboy fans really want some change to this offense, then you will have to pray that Kellen Moore get that job. Now, if I'm looking at my notes and you want everything to stay the same, you gotta pray to hope that Kellen Moore stays here and hope that he come up with a better scheme as it relates to counterattacks. I believe that Kellen Moore is a great guy as it relates to play design, but when to use those plays, come back to hunt them in the weirdest moments. Now, the biggest flaws that I got with Kellen Moore is knowing when to utilize some of your plays, right? Sometimes we'll go into a fight knowing that you need only the machete and we will use the machine gun, right? Y'all heard me give that analogy before. This guy would literally use the machine gun, when all you need is the machete. And when it's time for you to use the machine gun, right? Kellen Moore ends up pulling out the machete. And that is problematic. That is, hey, Kellen Moore still needs to learn and develop when to utilize those situations. Excuse me. When we talk about the running game and drawing up schemes and designs and plays, we just don't see that out of Kellen Moore, right? Drawing up the perfect run game situation. We just don't see it. And I'm not saying that he's 100% of the blame. Majority of this situation goes just like this, Cowboy Nation. Just lack of experience. And I know Dak Prescott is not faultless at this too. I was listening in, and I said this before several times. I was listening in to A to Z Sports Dallas. Shout out to my guy, Scott Walker. He had a caller to call in, and they were saying, hey, Scott, Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott need to be on the same page. And Scott stopped them and said, no. They are on the same page. That's the problem. What do you mean, Law? Well, all this time, we're looking for accountability, right? Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott don't seem to challenge each other, right? They don't seem to call each other out and say, hey, now they could be in those meetings saying, hey man, that was the wrong play, you ran the wrong option on that play. It's supposed to be quick pass to Amari Cooper, or that ball's supposed to go to Gallup in the flat, or CeeDee Lamb. The hook play supposed to be 3 steps out and then you go to Schultz. Who knows? They could be going back and forth with each other. and of course, Doug Nussmeier could be holding Dak Prescott accountable too. But I come here to tell y'all, beautiful people, I just don't think that that's happening, unfortunately. So it goes down to this right here, Cowboy Nation, that these boys must hold each other accountable. They do. And being on the same page, sometimes it's impediment to the growth aspect. Not saying that these guys are having those issues, but I just believe that Kellen Moore need to speak to Dak Prescott and hold him more accountable, and Dak Prescott need to look at Kellen Moore and say, hey, this play is not working. And of course, those conversations could be happening, right? We're not in the locker room. But neither here nor there. if this team decide to grow and move with this aspect of bringing Kellen Moore in for his 4th year, we can't see the same issues. Well, you know, when there's 6 DBs out there on the field, run the ball. It's simple. Run, attack the edge. Now, offensive line. The one unit that all 5 guys must be on the same page, right? Well, as you drawing up the plays, make sure that the continuity and rapport is there. No more musical chairs with the offensive line. As the offensive coordinator, you control all of that, right? And we already know the angle with Mike McCarthy, like he said in his final presser, I trust my offensive guys that whatever play that they install, I let them do it. Meaning that when he see the kitchen on fire, he sit back and say, well, I'm just going to watch this kid. The house is burning down. And Mike McCarthy didn't step in to put out the fire. He wanted Kellen Moore to learn. And then on the back end, Mike McCarthy said, I've been to playoff games before. I coached in Super Bowl games before. Well, newsflash, Mike, step in, put out the fire. Let's not be too late to make our necessary adjustments heading into the 2022 season. And hero ball, let's do away with that. Team ball. Let's bring more of that, meaning that team, together everyone achieves more. So when you have an injured player, plan through the injuries, want to get that Warriors mentality as the offensive coordinator, it's only going to hurt you in the long run. Be able to stand tall, to look your players in the eye and say, hey, you're injured. We got a healthy person over here. Let's bring that person in to help this team out. All of those things can happen. You just have to reshape your mind. And going back to what John Stephen Jones said about Kellen Moore, I would hate to see him go. Selfishly talking, basically. I believe him. I understand what he's saying. I get it. Sometimes you gotta let your guys go. However, I feel what you're saying. I feel what you're saying. You developed this guy. He started off as a quarterback on your team or what have you. Really came from Detroit, but you guys get what I'm saying. You groomed him under Jason Garrett and Scott Linehan's system. He became ultimately a quarterback coach, from a quarterback coach to an offensive coordinator. Those are long investments that you had on Kellen Moore, and you would hate to see that go. But sometimes, that's just the way it is, right? Cowboy Nation, let me know of your thoughts. If you team Kellen Moore, post down in the chat KM. If you're not, then, say goodbye, Kellen Moore. We hope you go elsewhere, right? But it's all up to the Dolphins of whether or not they're going to go with Kellen Moore or McDaniels over there from, I think his name is Mike McDaniels over there from 49ers land, right? So it's a toss-up between those two. So we'll see down the line. Shout out to all of you guys still watching, still grinding with the nation, baby. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go, baby. It's still from the womb to the tomb. Go Cowboys all day, baby. It is. Let's go.